so nice to see you. Welcome to Positively Spiritual. My name is Shannon Gilmore. How are you all doing? It is so nice to see you guys on the new chat room. We have a new chat on Telegram. It is Positively Spiritual, and it's still in its beginning stages, but you guys are all participating and sharing your thoughts, and I thank you for that. You guys are going to make this group grow, and I make it your own. Have fun. I built it with you guys in mind, obviously, and yeah. So take advantage of it, use it, and I'm just getting onto YouTube right now. Just to share the link with you guys. This is a private chat room, so please be aware of that. So don't don't share this link with anybody. Just 1 second. Just gotta wait for it to load. How you guys all doing tonight? Okay, so let me go over to our channel. Ooh. And just 1 second. I'm almost there. Hang on. Okay. So if you guys are on Telegram, there's our group chat. Now, this is the group chat for Positively Spiritual. Okay? So please don't share that with anybody. All right, so how you guys doing? How is everyone? Having a good day? I know after today's live this afternoon, whoa. Seriously, I've been feeling so peaceful, so calm, and my mind is focused on God. I've been like, okay, when I went to have my dinner, I was like cooking dinner, and I felt like I was cooking not only for myself and my daughter, but I was cooking for Jesus inside of her and Jesus inside of me. I was cooking for our welcome guests, and I was feeling so honored. And I felt so joyful, and I just like, God, this is so nice. And I made some bread buns, had some rice and vegetables, and it was a really, really nice dinner. And I was just like, God, thank you. Thank you for this food. Like, I felt a genuine connection with the food, the genuine connection with the water, the genuine connection with tea, the genuine connection with the vibe in this channel. And I just feel so honored, and it's amazing. It's amazing how God can radically change you to where you're not thinking about, yeah, okay, I've got problems. It's not that I'm, being irresponsible in these problems, but our walk is to take responsibility for ourselves by allowing ourselves to trust God and walk in submission daily, so that we can hear the Holy Spirit say, you need to go over there. There's a window of opportunity over there. You're going to have a job opportunity, so walk this way. Walk this way and talk this way. I don't know that song. Anyways, so it's been a really beautiful day. It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day. You know that song? Thank you for the joy. Thank you for the pain. Thank you for the sun. Thank you for the rain. It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day. I don't know who sings it, but it's a good little tune. Anyway, so today I want to talk about healing from trauma, the principles for emotional and mental recovery. We're not going to talk about science tonight. Dang, that was pretty cool there this afternoon. Maybe we'll do a whiteboard tomorrow afternoon again. I'm not sure, but that was just on the fly, and that was so much fun. That was awesome. So hello everyone, good day to you, good evening, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are, and God bless you. Healing from trauma, whether rooted in childhood abuse, narcissistic relationships, or other painful experiences. This is a journey that often feels overwhelming. Many people seek quick fixes or techniques, but true lasting healing requires something different, something deeper. Understanding the principles that allow the healing process to unfold naturally. I know you want a quick fix. You want God to just bippity boppity boop, there it's done, right? What is that? Salakadoo, la menchikaboo, la bippity boppity boo. You put them together, and what have you got? Bippity boppity, bippity boppity, bippity boppity boo. Yeah. Whatever. I'm in a good mood tonight. What can I say? When it comes to emotional and mental healing, there's a profound parallel to how the body heals. Now, we've used this analogy before, that you cut your finger, if you get a little boo-boo on your arm, you fall off your bike, you get a scratch. You know that after you have an injury, even when you're a child, you're going to cry, you're going to wail, you're going to see that blood for the first time, and you're going to be like, what the frick is that, man? You're going to freak out, and your parents are going to be like, it's okay, it's okay. They're going to nurture you through that, okay? And you learn early on as a kid that your body naturally, instinctively works to heal itself. Your body knows what to do. You don't need to do anything. Your body knows what to do. If your body knows what to do and how to heal yourself, don't you think your soul knows what to do? Yeah, your soul knows exactly what to do. Your soul knows how you need to heal. You don't have to force the process. And, we help our immune system along by cleaning the wound and putting a bandage on it. Yeah, we do what we can, but usually we just let the body do its thing and let it heal on its own if it's not too bad, if we don't need stitches, right? But how many of you sit there and pick? You pick at that wound. You pick. Just like when you pop a pimple. I know. Ew! But some people are just pickers, right? But you pick at that wound, right? And you pick off that scab. Never mind. I had boys in high school who would pick off their scabs and throw their scabs at the girls, and we'd be like, ew, and it's disgusting. Boys are disgusting. I just want to say, not my son. No, my son never did that kind of stuff. No. So anyways, if we would just leave the wound alone and ignore it after cleaning it up and putting a bandage on it, it would ultimately heal. Emotional healing operates in the same way, but we keep picking at old emotional wounds, which never allow any time to heal or allow for the soul to actually correct itself. See, when you leave a wound alone, you're ignoring it. You're going off and doing life. If you fall off that bike, get a scratch, you get back on that bike, carry on. You cut yourself while chopping onions, You go run that under, you go run your wound under cold water, suppress the bleeding, put a bandage on it, put a glove on it, and you go continue to chop onions. We're not wounded in the way of we don't fear the knife, we don't fear the bite, we don't fear what caused us to bleed. But why are we fearing and hanging on to the situations and the people that cause us to emotionally hurt? It's because we don't understand the spiritual nature. Hi, Apollo. How you doing? Nice to see you. Welcome. So instead, we are in the way of letting the Spirit speak to us, to tell us through the love of God. The light is in us. God is waiting at the ready to whisper to us, to nurture us, to say, here's what you do. Go take a hot bath. Go relax. Maybe go swimming. Go exercise. Go do something for you. Come on, daughter. Come on, son. Let's go read my word together. Let's go find some healing scriptures. Let's go meditate on my word. See, never do we ask ourselves what our soul needs. Our soul is crying out to us, and we're not listening. Even King David in Psalm said, "Oh, my soul, what is wrong with you?" Like, what if we just turn to our souls in our time of sadness and grief and anger and feeling used and abused, alone and afraid and misused and unworthy and jealous and resentful? What if we just asked our souls, look inside the mirror, look in your eyes, and you just look yourself in the eyes and say, soul, how can I help? How can I step aside this grief? How can I step aside this rumination to let you take over? God, how do I let you take over? It's about submitting. Hi, Resista. How you doing? Nice to see ya. So instead of just allowing the Spirit to speak to us and lead and guide us to where He needs us to go, we are getting in the way. We like to get in there and muck things up and make things more complicated than they need to be. And with complications, you got to unpack the complication. So it's time to unstuck yourself by getting out of your own way. Trauma recovery doesn't require you to control every little aspect of the process. Stop it. Stop trying to control the process. And stop allowing yourself to go, squirrel! You start working on the process, and then all of a sudden something comes out of from your peripheral vision and comes into your field of view, and now you're just like, oh, shiny object. Ooh, there's a TV show on going over there. I want to watch that. No, I don't want to do this healing modality. No, I don't want to work on myself. I'll work on myself tomorrow. I want to go grab that bag of Cheetos and I want to go watch my favorite movie. That's how we neglect our spirit. Get out of your own way. Become disciplined. Allow yourself to discipline you. The TV show will keep. Do you know there's tons of free TV streaming apps now? You can watch, your TV show for free. You can watch it retroactive. So unstuck yourself. Get out of your own way. Because trauma recovery doesn't require you to control every aspect of the process. It requires you to stop interfering with the process. Squirrel! That's interfering. You're not disciplined enough. And then we say, why, God? Why is this taking so long? How do I heal? What do I do? God's not listening to me. It just this freaking hurts. I can't handle this. This narcissist won't leave me alone. Yeah. We're our own freaking problem. We are our own problem, and I can say that about myself. I'm saying that about myself. I can admit that. I totally can admit that. Don't like to, but I can admit that. Hi, my name is Shannon Gilmore, and I'm recovering from getting out of my own way. Easy said, easily said. So you need to stop interfering with the process of healing. So let's explore some foundational principles to allow healing to take its course. Stop putting a time limit on this. Do not put a time limit on your healing. Just make an effort. Discipline yourself to work every single day. Every single day. Because this is, every single day is the rest of your life. This is your life. You live it. The narcissist is not living your life for you. You're no longer living your life for the narcissist. You're living your life for you and for God. And for me and for everybody else. Because guess what? This is why you're here. You're here to strengthen your weak knees and build your areas of your vulnerabilities. You're here to build yourself up so that you can be that fortress of strength for somebody else who needs somebody like you. It doesn't matter what you want. This is what it is. This is what you signed up for when you said, yes, Jesus, I choose you. We signed up for the good and we signed up for the bad. We signed up for all of it. We just were ignorant to it. You're a freaking soldier and you're stronger than you think. Own it. You are a soldier in God's army. Own it. We talked about the energy field today. If you haven't watched that, go watch that video. It's the video before this one. Amazing insight. Freaking amazing insight. See, what happens in our healing is we end up gaslighting ourselves to a reality that no longer exists. We are no longer traumatized. Seriously, you may disagree with me on this, but the truth is, we've talked about this before, in this moment of now, you are not traumatized, even if you could go back to the past. You can't be traumatized because you are an adult. You can't shrink down into the little baby or the little infantile or the little person or the immature individual you were when that trauma happened. Even if it was like 2 weeks ago, 2 years ago, you right now are not the same person you were when that trauma happened, or you're not the same person you were before that trauma happened. Trauma does change you. And you have a choice to either say, okay, that's a tragedy, or that's a blessing. It's your choice to decide. I'm choosing, I don't want the enemy to win, because I know the enemy freaking sucks. I know who the enemy is. The enemy is not a nice being. You know that. The enemy doesn't have your welfare at heart. So, you know what? I'm going to choose to live for me, and I want Jesus. I want Jesus in my life. I want to live for him. I want him to stay as this welcome guest in my temple. Like we talked about it this afternoon. This video is kind of a segue because when you have a welcome guest in your home, do you present to your welcome guest the worst of you? Do you present to your welcome guest, I'm just a curmudgeon. Hi, Ted. How you doing? It's nice to see you. You don't go to your welcome guest and say, you know what? I'm just a badass and I'm just in a bad mood. Take it or leave it. I don't care. I just tell it like it is. And I'm just, are you really going to wear those pants out to dinner? Are you really sure you want to wear that to dinner? I'm sorry, friend. You're my welcome guest, but I don't think that doesn't make those pants don't make you look very good. They're not very flattering. Do you say that to your welcome guest? No, you don't. You don't order your welcome guest. Oh, you slept on my couch. You dropped crumbs on the floor. Go to the closet and get out the vacuum and clean up after yourself. And you shave in the bathroom and you leave your little beard hairs everywhere? Like, what the hell? Like, clean up after yourself. This isn't your home. Do we talk to our welcome guests like that? No, that's shameful. We're on our best behavior. We give our welcome guests our best because that's who we are. And we don't recognize that we are supposed to show up as our best for even ourselves when nobody's watching. But when nobody's watching, no, we're in our beds, cuddled up with the blankets around us, crying our eyes out. Oh, I want my mom. I can't believe the narcissist did this to me. Yeah. We don't show up for our best, for ourselves. So how can we expect to show up for our best for God who lives in here? Hi enough to try. How you doing? I am weary of the fight. I'm in recovery of every abuse, every assault, every gaslighting, every betrayal, even mine. Carl Jung style, knowing my dark side too. I cry daily. Yes. Good for you. You're a strong woman. You really are. All of you guys are strong. But I know myself, this video this afternoon just kind of changed my outlook because, like I've told you, I used to freaking react negatively when negative things happened. I'd be like, frick, why is this happening? This isn't good. And now, yeah. It's like water off a duck's back, but we learned this afternoon it's not good enough to just have no reaction. The point is to show negativity, no negative reaction. But we can still have a reaction, a positive reaction to say, you know what? My God is stronger. My God is better. Greater is he who's in me than he is who in the world, whatever, And we can show up as our best in bad times. This welcomed guest, the light inside of us, the Holy Spirit, Jesus, is our welcome guest. And what do you do when you have a welcome guest? You're at your best. You give them your best plates. You give them, you might break out the china that you haven't used in years, and you just might break it out. It's a special occasion. Let's sit at the dining table that is reserved only for guests, and you give them your food and you make them the best. You're like I used example this afternoon. I'm making some lunch. Would you like some? My special guest. And they're like, yeah, peanut butter and sandwich will do if that's what you got. And it's like, oh no, I'm thawing out some fish here. Would you like some lemon pepper fish and some rice and vegetables? Oh yeah, that'd be awesome. So what do? You go ahead and cook that. And you prepare that meal and you're all happy and you're thinking, oh yes, I'm going to cook the best and I'm making the right sauce and I'm just, perfecting this recipe just to a T. You're so careful, you're meticulous, you're happy, you're stirring, you're mixing, you're boiling, you're frying, you're just do and so happy. You feel so blessed that you are able to give to your special guest the best of you, the best of your meal. We're supposed to show up for our invited guest, the Holy Spirit, like that every day. We're not supposed to be crying and lamenting and moaning. We're ignoring God the minute we feel hurt and slighted. Ouch! We trigger. And it's natural because nobody told us this. Nobody told us how to conduct ourselves with the light inside of us. We're kind of flying by the seat of our pants. So in this video, we're going to go through 5 principles to help you uncover the route to healing. Okay, so Joe, hi, how you doing? Joe says, I've been told to clean up after myself. Narcissists will tell you that. Yes, they will. So you make sure that you clean up after yourself so that they don't have to tell you or say anything. My mother always taught me, this is how I was raised. When you're living somewhere and you have to move, you make it cleaner than when you moved in. It's like if you're staying at a friend's house or staying at your family's house and you stay there for a weekend or 2 weeks or whatever it is, even at a hotel room. People have told me, oh, just leave the towels, leave the towels, it's just like you can leave the hotel room a mess. I don't. I leave my place where I have lived, I leave it cleaner than when I first got there. That's just the way I was raised. It's a way for me to show respect. Enough to Try says, I've been busy, family. If I may question, I have been fighting my own life. Peace be with you all. Oh, Enough to Try. God bless you. May God heal you and help you, girl. I would plan feasts because it's how I showed my love. In the end, they cast me out. My entire life, my family, their cast out is gnarly. Everything you have done, they did, or it's never enough. Yeah, I hear you. It's the rejection is devastating. And it's hard to come back from that. But you learn that they're not your real family, even though you want them to be. And I can say that, I mean no disrespect. I really don't. I've been disowned by my own parents, so I get it. And my foster family, living in a foster family, I never felt loved there either. I never felt accepted. So for me, I've kind of wrestled with these feelings a long time ago. And when I say something, I apologize because I'm empathetic, but I don't have the experience of having a family who, show, like, I never lived with my own parents. So that's an experience that I don't have. And I can't imagine that, it's devastating. And all I can say is that when you know when it's time to let go. When you have enough information and you know who they are. And that's where radical acceptance comes in. You have to see your family members as how they truly are, not as how you want to see them. And I'm not telling you anything that you don't already know. So, you were bought for $1,250? Is that what you're saying? I'm sorry to hear that. And I can relate to you because my foster parents bought me. I was just the money bags. Yeah, them fostering me, they got to pay their house off in, 10 years earlier. Yeah. And guess who that house was inherited to? Their kids, not me. Never saw any. I don't have a college fund. The kickbacks that my foster parents got from taxes for fostering me probably paid for my foster sister's college funds. I never saw any of it. Never had an inheritance or anything. And I'm not bitter about it, but it took me a long time to realize that, okay. So I understand what you're saying, or I don't understand the entirety of it, but what you're saying does resonate with me, and I feel for you, and it's hard. It's hard. Anybody who is struggling with being the scapegoat in the family and having to deal with the golden child. I mean, this is a pain that registers very deep within your soul. And the only way to get through this is through Jesus and leaning on people who are here to support you and understand. So when you know, you go. That's right, resistor. That's right. So yes, cheap, and the man bragged because of how cheap he paid for me because he didn't want my native biological brother. Oh, I'm sorry. Are you in contact with your brother now? My golden child sister actually was bought a gold flute. Oh, wow. Oh, yeah, you and I, girl, we gotta talk. We gotta talk. So how are you guys all doing tonight? In the chat, there is a link for our new Telegram private chat. So I will take it down in this chat. So it's only going to be up for 24 hours, the link, because it is a private chat. So get your hands on the link, and it's your private invite to come on in and chat with us, and, you know, just become one of the family. Just support your other people, feel supported yourself, work through questions, search through comments, and just discover insight that we don't really talk about on this channel, because YouTube kind of stops us from saying things like, are you struggling with suicide? Are you struggling with sexual assault? Are you struggling from schizophrenia? Are you struggling from, you know, anorexia? Yeah. We'll talk about it all on our channel. You're welcome there. No apologies, girl. Don't you dare. You take that back. No apologies whatsoever. That's what this chat is open for. Girl, you're supported. We love you. Hugs. Air hugs to everybody. Big group hug, okay? Group hugs. Hey, Vegas Strong. Son had a baby with a racist Mexican against African Americans, and 5 times meeting her now, I can't see my grandbaby. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry to hear that. And is it grandparents have no rights anymore? Is that how it is? I know that's in Canada, that they changed the rule that, you know, it used to be that grandparents used to be able to fight for the right to see their grandkids, but now it's grandparents have no rights. So where are they now? Are they in Mexico? Your son changed. Yeah, that usually happens. Yeah, that usually happens. The narcissist changes the other person. Yeah. And blames the grandparents. Sometimes blames the grandparents that you can't see your grandchild because you did this and 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 long list. Yeah. You're in Vegas. Okay. What is that song? It ain't pretty. I forget the song. But you got a song. I'll see you next time, Vegas, and you got a song coming. I kind of sing and try to liven things up because we do get really serious on this channel. So, but you're Vegas strong. Clearly never been to church to honor thy mother and father. Yeah. Yeah. Well, they don't have like a restraining order against you or anything, do they? So, you know, what you can do is just write, if you're comfortable with this, if you don't do this already, you know, just send little cards and little letters, and you might not get answered. They might ignore you. Or you can just write letters and keep them and save them for when it's time for your grandchildren to, you know, your grandchild to just, they're old enough to know their other family. But don't give up. Is there like a support group you can go to? I mean, obviously you can find support here, but is there a specific support group that you can find for grandparents who have lost the visitation rights to see their grandchildren? So that might be something to look into in your area or somewhere. Maybe there's a chapter or something around. Are you legally allowed to be around them or children in general? Would be a great question. Yeah, FYI. Yeah, yeah. I know when I was in my foster home, like here in Canada, when you're adopted, you have no access to your birth family. Like it's cut, it's done. But I was fostered, and so I had access to my family, but the courts made it a rule that I was not allowed to have access to my aunts, my mother's sisters. I was not allowed to have access to my mother. I was not allowed access to my grandmother because these people were close to my mother. So that cut me off from my family, except for my grandfather. My grandfather I was allowed to visit. So, because he divorced my grandmother, and, you know, he was kind of left out of the loop. So there's almost no sound. Do I have to yell? Do I have to call from across the room and raise my voice and yell? Pay attention, class. No, just kidding. Just kidding. How's that? Can you guys hear me okay? I know I was getting quiet. Sometimes I get quiet. I'm sorry. I forget. I forget that I'm talking to the camera and I have to project my voice. I forget. I apologize. I'm sorry. Thank you, someone. That's awesome. Thank you. Thank you for letting me know. Welcome. Come on in here. Get a bullhorn. Yes. Okay. I need a bullhorn. Then you guys will be like, want, want, want. That's what I'll sound like. Ugh. You know those bullhorns when it just, you speak too loudly in the speaker and you just like gravitate, it grates on your ears. Ooh, that hurts. Okay. So, now that everybody can hear me, can you hear me in the back row? Can you hear me now? Okay, so let's get on with this because there's there's 5 principles, and we've already spoken about the first principle, which is just radical acceptance. One of the most challenging yet transformative principles of healing is acceptance. Now, we often resist pain, fighting the emotions and memories that haunt us. But what are we really fighting? We are resistant to the truth that the person who hurt us didn't love us enough to protect us from themselves. We hang on to the pain because we know it's true and we want to let go, but the only way we will give ourselves permission to let go is if the person or persons who hurt us come clean and vindicate us by validating our pain, by admitting that they hurt us and that they are sorry for the pain that they caused. We gaslight ourselves into a reality that no longer exists. You, in this moment of now, are not being traumatized. We're no longer traumatized. But what remains of our experience is the feeling combined with our memories. And this replays on a loop where it's just over and over and over, never stopping. And so what we need to do is we need to stop that loop. Because whenever we recall the memories, the pain reawakens. It's picking the scab off of that wound. And then we end up entertaining that scab by looking at the scab, looking at all the marks, looking at the raw skin underneath the scab, and oh, it's still bleeding. Oh, it's not quite healed yet. And you pick away at the skin and you just pick away at it to expose the raw sore to the air and also to our salty tears. So what if we just allowed ourselves to embrace radical acceptance instead? What if we stopped resisting the truth that the people we admired and loved, the people we depended on, hurt us and wronged us? What if we just accept that? We don't need to know, did they know they were doing what they were doing? Yeah, they did, but do we need to know that? Is that our business? How will that make us heal any faster? We're never going to know the motives of their heart. All we need to do is, we need to know that they didn't do right by us. And they are accountable for that. They are responsible for that. But now that it's said and done, it's between them and God. And when we stop resisting to the truth, those memories, they soften and the emotional charge is less painful. Been saying ever since I found this channel, my only question on the loudspeaker, are you all out of your mind? Then hand it over for real. Yeah, I'm glad you're one of us too, Joe says. Yes, I'm glad you are too, enough to try. Thank you for this, coming to this channel and being a part of the family. Healing begins when we stop fighting. You know, you got to get out of your own way. You got to stop fighting yourself. You got to, this negative part of you, these negative emotions are a part of you because this is why you're feeling them. You don't feel something you don't identify with. There we go. You don't feel something you don't identify with. So, when you stop fighting yourself and embrace these feelings by taking a look at them and radically accepting and saying, yes, I feel sad. Stop saying I am sad. Instead, change your words, because your words actually convince your mind of a truth that is not real. You do not have to identify with the negative feelings. And every time you say, I am sad, I am unwell, I am unhappy, I am mad, I am resentful, I'm unworthy, I'm rejected, I'm used, I'm misrepresented, misunderstood. You're using these I am statements as a negative, and so you begin to identify with the negative. Instead, start saying, I feel. Then when you start feeling sadness, you can say, I feel sad. Then you can take a look at it objectively and say, why do I feel sad? Then you can start talking to your soul and saying, soul, why do I feel sad? Soul, why do I feel angry? Spirit, why do I feel this way? What is this feeling? I'm a little bit confused. So healing begins when we stop the fight and embrace radical acceptance. This means accepting what happened in the past and accepting that it is in the past. It's not in the present. And accept how the trauma has affected you in the here and now. And accept the parts of yourself that you may not like or recognize anymore. This doesn't mean condoning the harm that has been done to you. Instead, it is about acknowledging reality so the healing process can move forward. You want your life to change? This is where change happens, when you change your perspective at the root of what is holding you back. The people whom you trusted, the people who should have believed in you, the people who were put in your life to protect you and teach, lead, and guide you, they didn't do any of that for you. Or maybe they did, but just a little. And this is the fact that you have to accept. So where do you go from here? Principle number 2, alter the narrative. You are holding on to a narrative of what happened. Your narrative is one-sided now. When it happened, it was two-sided, but now it's one-sided. Because as it is observed and experienced, it only is experienced from your perspective, from when you were vulnerable. Maybe when you were young, maybe if it happened 2 weeks ago, 2 years ago, you were uneducated and you were vulnerable and you didn't know now what you didn't know then what you now know. Okay, so your narrative in this trauma is one-sided, as it's observed and experienced from only your perspective. At the time when trauma happened to you, you were limited in your awareness, and when you were traumatized, you didn't have all the facts, and you still don't, and you perhaps never will. Is this why you're hanging on? Because you're waiting for a reason to understand why you were traumatized? You're never going to get that. Every event in your life is a certain kind of narrative. That's because we live our lives with stories in our own minds. These narratives allow us to share our beings with the world as we use narratives to tell ourselves about who we are. What happened to us? This is our own narrative, our own perspective. And we also have a bias of how the world works based on what we've experienced. So these narratives that we tell ourselves shape our identity and our behavior, often on an unconscious level. And some of these narratives are right and some of them are wrong. Some of them are half-truths with a big chunk of the narrative missing. And so with that big chunk missing, we have to fill in the blanks. And the big chunk that's missing is oftentimes the narrative of the other person's perspective. Our bias only has us seek meaning from our own understanding. We do not know the motives of someone else's heart, and oftentimes we don't even know our own motives. And so we will never have that question answered. Why? Why were we hurt and abused? We can guess, but without truly knowing by the other person, admitting and sharing their narrative with us, we will never know. And that's the point, because we hang on because we're saying, yes, it matters. We need to know why. But it doesn't matter because we've learned the reason why. The people that hurt us were traumatized, and they hurt us because they didn't love themselves or they don't love themselves. That's why. And we have to fill in the blanks, and we weave a story within a story that makes sense to us. And when it does make sense, we then give ourselves permission to feel. Oftentimes, feeling the negative in attempts to hang on to someone else's narrative, because we lack the understanding to just let it go, because we can't, because we have a reason to hang on to it, because we need to know why. We need to know why we were hurt. Why were we hurt when we were innocent? Why? Nobody can tell us that except for God. And we're learning the reason in this channel. See, our older versions of ourselves, the people of the past who were traumatized, well, the old self has this false sense of identity. And if we just let go of that, we then have to let that old person go with questions unanswered. Whoever told us we need closure? Whoever told us that? It's time to stop this hamster wheel of what could have been and what will never be. It's time to stop ourselves from remaining the powerless victim or the persecuted martyr. It's time to rewrite our story and create a new script. You can do this. One that has meaning and purpose, that is finally in our favor. And we do that by understanding the cross of Christ, because Jesus dealt with all this pain. So what's going on with you guys? You guys are talking amongst yourselves. Where Buffy the Vampire Slayer, where do we go from here? Really? I never caught on to that show. I think I've seen a few episodes, but not a lot. So there are no sides, just the truth. Oh, who's cooking? More brownies? I love brownies. I love brownies. I love chocolate. Ooh. Somebody's cooking brownies. Did they say brownies? Oh my gosh. Don't do that. That's torture. Serious. That's torture. So. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so you guys are talking amongst yourselves. Okay, so to start this healing process of radical acceptance, consider these questions. What role are you playing in your own narrative? Are you the hero or the martyr? Or are you the victim? What new story could empower you to move forward? How does this role that you've created for yourself, and how does this role that you have been forced into through trauma, how has these roles influenced your emotions and actions? Changing your narrative doesn't mean denying your pain or pretending that the trauma didn't happen. It means choosing a perspective that allows you to reclaim your power and agency, meaning that you control your own life. Principle 3, release the shadow. Another obstacle to healing is dealing with the shadow self. These are parts of ourselves we suppress, those negative things that we don't want to look at, that we possibly might be, bad people, as we've done bad things, and maybe those bad things have given the narcissist or the people of power reason to hurt us, because we are bad. Whoa. So we just push it under the rug and pretend that we're good and we're innocent, as we are innocent. Hi, Dana. How are you doing? Hello, I just came out of a terrible relationship with the narc. My relationship, my representatives had to sit down and the mask just didn't fall off. The mask blew off and trust, I felt the wind. Oh my gosh. You okay? So. Wow. Wow. I have no idea what you guys are talking about. I'm glad you're doing okay. I have no idea what you guys are talking. You're talking about brownies and then pants and suspenders. Oh my goodness, you guys. My mouth is drooling here because somebody mentioned brownies. I'm still on brownies, okay? I'm going to be on that for a long time. My mind is stuck on brownies. I see the chocolate tops with walnuts and chocolate icing and I'm drooling. So I'm stuck. I'm stuck. Ugh. I'm going to press the reset button. Okay, so principle number 3 is releasing the shadow. And this is, just the portions of ourselves where we don't want to look at. Because if we look at them, maybe we're scared that the narcissist or the person who hurt us was right. That we did deserve to be hurt and abandoned and abused because we're that bad. That's a lie. And we want to assume that we are good and kind, and we are. But the trauma that we try to forget won't let us live in this freedom because the feeling remains unaddressed. We have this why? Why did they do this? So we can't ignore ourselves and hope that it will go away. While wanting to live life to the best of our ability is doable, it's not going to happen the more you cling on to these negative feelings. These repressed emotions need to come out. The desires and the memories, they don't disappear on their own. They linger beneath the surface, causing stress and cognitive dissonance. Healing requires us to confront and integrate the shadow. This involves honesty, vulnerability, and a willingness to face uncomfortable truths about ourselves. See, we've done on these lives where we've looked at ourselves and we recognize that you can't have, you want to you want to accept the good, okay? But you can't accept the good without accepting the bad. So you have to accept that, okay, I was traumatized, I did bad things. I was traumatized and I promised myself and promised my children I would not repeat the same mistakes my mother made with me on my kids. Well, I didn't repeat all those mistakes, but I repeated a lot of them. And I ended up hurting my children. So I have to accept that. But I also know that if I wasn't traumatized, I wouldn't have been acting like that towards my kids. I would have been the best mother that I possibly could have been because I wouldn't have been traumatized. And I could have stepped up to the plate for my kids. I could have stepped up and woman-upped and been the mom that they needed if I wasn't traumatized. So I've got to accept that I was traumatized, and I've got to accept that, okay, if I wasn't traumatized, I would be the best person that I possibly could be. But because I was traumatized, I did this, and I hurt that person and that person and that person. It didn't make me a bad person. It made my actions bad, but in my core, I'm not bad. You're not bad. Your core is not bad. The narcissist core, they're bad because they don't have the light inside of them. They don't have Jesus. We do. And We do these bad things so that we could relate to the trauma and the person who put the trauma on us. If I didn't repeat the mistakes that my mom did with me, if I didn't repeat those mistakes on my own children, then I wouldn't have been able to forgive my mom. Because if I want forgiveness for myself, I have to forgive my mother. And I changed my behavior to show my children that I really am sorry. I hold deep remorse. And it was guilt and shame and regret that held me back for a long time. But I worked on myself and I showed them with changed behavior. My mother didn't change her behavior. Does that mean I don't forgive her? No, I forgive her. Because this is my life. This is about me. I'm the hero in my story. And turns out we are here to stop the generational curses. So we are heroes in our individual bloodlines. What's happening? I'm just reading your comments here. I ran out of cocoa powder. Dang it, just checked the list. Oh yeah, cocoa powder is almost $10 here. So expensive. Enough to Try says, may I ask anybody here, or may I ask if anyone wakes up in a panic attack at a certain time? No, I don't. All I can say is facing east or south, having your bed face south is ideal. Like your headboard faces south. If you have your headboard facing south, then your head faces south, and you have better dreams. So, and if you can't face your bed south, then east is the best, like facing south is ideal, but if you can't face south, then choose the east side of your room and have your head facing east, and that might help you have better dreams. It's a feng shui sort of thing, and I've tried it and it does work. It does work. Also have your Bible sitting open on your bed if you can, or on your night table, so that if you do wake up, you can just reach for your Bible and read some soothing scripture. That may help too. So never pass the abuse from your parents down to your kids as a way to forgive your parents. Your kids don't deserve that. You are talking insane as fuck. Okay, you misunderstand what I'm saying. You totally misunderstand what I'm saying. So, let me explain to you. Okay? Okay? I am not saying use your kids. That the way you interpret that's insane as fuck. Excuse my language, but that's rude. And all I can say is, before you cast judgment, stick around on this channel for a while. I understand that you misunderstood, but that's totally not what I was saying. Totally not what I was saying. So listen up, let me explain. When you are traumatized, it is natural, absolutely natural, to repeat mistakes that your parents did with you. And you repeat those mistakes without thinking. because you're led by this trauma. You are led by your ego. You are led by this shame, this guilt, this animosity inside of you, and this hate that you have for yourself. Depending on the trauma that you have learned to hate yourself. And if you hate yourself, you can't love yourself. And especially if you were traumatized when you were a child and you have children, you impart that trauma unknowingly onto your children as you unknowingly repeat things, patterns of abuse that were done to you that you can't recognize because you're so traumatized. And so I didn't recognize this until after I started healing myself. Does that make better sense? Does that help you? And when you see that when you start healing from your trauma, when you start taking responsibility for your wrong actions, when you start taking accountability for the things that you do, you then can see, oh, I repeated mistakes that my parents made. And so the issue then becomes a spiritual issue. Because in God's house, there's no favorites. In God's house, there's no judgment. So if you forgive somebody of their wrongdoing against you, you have to forgive everybody of their wrongdoing against you. Doesn't matter what was done to you, because God says there's no sin above another. So what I was saying is, once I started unpacking my trauma and start going into my childhood and going back into these repressed memories and going back into childhood regression and revisit the pains of the past, I could see the things that my mother did to me as I had memories that I just forgot about. And when I took a look at those memories, I saw patterns of behavior that my mother did to me that I unknowingly did to my kids and did to other people and did to myself. And I had to forgive myself for all the bad things that I did. Didn't make me a bad person, it just, my actions were bad. And once I started forgiving myself, I realized, well, I'm a hypocrite if I don't forgive my mom, because I committed the same things that she did on me, I committed with other people and myself. So I'm an extension of her. So I need to forgive her. If I'm going to forgive myself, I'm going to forgive her. If I forgive her, I have to forgive myself. That's the point I was trying to make. Does that make sense? Good. Get it? Got it? Good. All right. Hey Ted, how you doing? Carrying my own personal cross is that maybe I do not trust a woman ever again. You will. It's just going to take some time. It's going to take some time. Ooh. Oh, good to hear, Diane. Sorry, I said your name wrong. Dana. Dana says, I used to feel nauseous at certain times of the evening. That demonic energy tried to put the choke hold on me. But God, praise Jesus, I got my voice back. Amen. In this channel, and you guys have truly helped. Aw, awesome. Thank you. I'm glad. Praise Jesus. And Ted, you will trust another person again. You got to just learn to trust yourself, trust your own judgment. So, oh, enough to try. Joe is a really nice person. Absolutely. So, high five. It happens with almost every family. How you doing, high five? Nice to see you. So, yeah. So, you forgave your father because he said he did the best he could do in taking care of us. Aw, that's so lovely. Yeah. That's nice. It's nice that he could admit that much. That's good. So healing requires us to confront and integrate those shadows. This involves honesty, being vulnerable, and a willingness to face uncomfortable truths about ourselves. We have learned a valuable lesson, one that I think we all fail to see. The narcissist lies to us, which teaches us that we must, above all else, remain truthful to ourselves. This takes digging into the shadow self and seeing the ugliness, the version of ourselves that we don't want to see. The truth is we are capable of so much more than what we realize. We are capable of so much good and so much bad. We have lived our lives in a state of shadow that has terrorized us to keep us from seeing who we truly are, as we are both bad and good. Oh, no homework? No, there's no homework. No, there's no homework. Just somebody want to send me a recipe for brownies, your best brownies that are moist? See, I told you I'm going to be on brownies for days and weeks now. Oh my gosh. Oh, this is torture. And we're going through, like here in my area, we're going through, I only buy organic cocoa powder and organic chocolate, and there is like a shortage now on cocoa or cacao, whatever you want to call it. There's a shortage now, and so I haven't been able to get my chocolate chips and my chocolate for a long time now. This is not fair. Seriously. Yeah, there's a shortage. Something about the cocoa plants have some sort of disease on it now. So, okay, so it takes digging into the shadow self and seeing the ugliness, the version of ourselves that we don't want to see. Okay, so you've got to get honest with yourself. You've got to, when you start feeling those negative feelings and you are then, you become aware that you're feeling feelings, have a piece of paper or a whiteboard, but have a piece of paper and a pen and ask yourself, why am I feeling these feelings? Journal it down. Why am I feeling sadness? Why am I feeling anger? Notice I didn't say, why am I angry? Why am I sad? I said, why am I feeling? Make sure you use your words. Why am I feeling? Because when you use the words feeling attached to your I am statement, you're detaching your identity from the ego. And that's what we want. That's ultimately what you want, because you want to identify yourself with the wanted guest, the special guest inside your heart, Jesus, the Holy Spirit. So I don't need stretch pants or suspenders. I'm good, but thank you. I wear yoga pants, so I don't need stretch pants. I got enough. I'm wearing stretch pants. So, oh my gosh, she's going on a chocolate detox. Women or Buddhists help. I know, I'm a chocoholic. Like I can eat chocolate all day long. Like I love chocolate. Like it is an addiction. And I have to be very careful. I was like, excuse me, before I turned to eating organic foods, I was buying chocolate bars, like going to the grocery store and buying 2 or 3 chocolate bars. I would stash them in my house and hide them. And the addiction was so bad that I would, snarfle one down, and I'd be thinking about that next one that I put in the cupboard. And I'd be thinking about it and thinking about it. I'd be ruminating about it, thinking about it and thinking about it and thinking about it until I just broke down and finally grabbed the chocolate and snarfled that one down. And then I'd think about the third one that I put in a different hiding spot. And I stopped once those 3 were gone, and I would eat them in one night. Once they were gone, I'd stop thinking about it. But see, this is how I dealt with my trauma, and it formed a bad habit. Me and chocolate, we're best buds, but it's my frenemy. So, well, they do say that chocolate is better than sex, right? Right? Shh. So, Resistor says, I just made cookies with a Heath bar bits in them. Impressive. Oh my gosh. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Sounds good. Okay, I got to get through this 4th principle. Okay. So the 4th principle is let time do its work. Just as physical wounds need time to heal, so does emotional trauma. Your soul needs time to heal, and your soul knows how to heal. See, your soul expresses itself through creativity. So allow yourself to get creative. The process can't be rushed, but it can be hindered by constantly reopening old wounds. This often happens when we dwell on the past, replay painful memories, and talking about our past releases pain, But sometimes people just like to talk and they don't release the pain, they hang on to it. And so you'll find people repeating their, it's like, oh my gosh, I've been hearing this same story for 20 years already. They haven't let it go. Narcissists are like that. There's no emotional release. So allow yourself to get creative. Instead of trying to force the process, trust in your natural capacity to heal. Support the process by practicing self-care, seeking therapy, and building a supporting environment. But remember, you're always healing. Every single day of your life, you started healing the minute the trauma stopped. Self-care is taking care of yourself, eating well, exercising, drinking plenty of water, getting enough sleep, putting yourself on a sleeping schedule, taking time to talk to God, read your Bible, talk to yourself, do mirror work, write yourself a love note, engage in play, do crafting, dancing, maybe get into sports, maybe take up cooking, do things for you that you delight in. Okay? Do things that bring you pleasure, that bring out that childlike pleasure out of you. Go plant some flowers. Go pet a bee. Have you guys ever pet one? I pet a bee. I love petting bees. It's so awesome. So bees they're not harmful. They won't hurt you. So you're part of my schedule, Shannon. Awesome. That's good. Thank you, Resistor. That's awesome. So you should have time stamped on this too. Get your helper to put these in your tubes. It'll help. Okay, thank you. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll do that. Thank you. So self-care is extremely important, okay? And it means putting yourself first, because trauma has you put the pain first and you second. Principle number 5, be honest. Be honest with yourself. Truth is a powerful tool for healing. When we deny our emotions or hide from our pain, we create inner conflict that stalls recovery. Being honest with yourself about your feelings, your experiences, and your needs allows you to align with your authentic self. This honestly includes recognizing the ways you might be sabotaging your own healing. Ooh. Hi, Nicholas. How you doing? Elaine. That's a running thing, right? Yeah. How you doing? It's nice to see you. So, reopening wounds by revisiting toxic relationships or environments, well, okay, you got to identify these patterns and why you do this. Because this is the first step into breaking free from these unhealthy patterns. Getting honest with yourself doesn't mean I'm a piece of crap, I'm this, I'm stupid, I'm dumb. It's not about ruminating over the negativity. Getting honest with yourself is asking yourself important healing questions, or questions that lead to your health and knowledge. Like you're asking yourself knowledgeable questions as you're getting to know you. So it's like, why am I feeling sad? Why am I feeling anxious? Why am I feeling this way? Is there anything that I can do to stop this feeling? Because there's the first thing is you've got to calibrate your body, because your body holds the score. Your body holds memory of the past. And if your body is feeling those feelings, anxiousness, where you're tense, if your body is feeling tension in any area of your body, it's sending signals to your brain that you're in danger. And so your brain then allows you to go back into memory of when you were in danger, the trauma, and you recall those memories so that you can tap into those feelings, because when you were in those feelings protected you and kept you, safe from harm, or kept you hyper aware and vigilant. And when you are in those feelings, you're like, you're darting around, looking around, and you don't have to be that way anymore. So taking a look at, first and foremost, telling your body that your body is safe. Go into a relaxation, go into meditation, and just talk lovingly to your body. The area where you feel pain, the area where you feel tension. You can say to yourselves, thank you, body, for keeping me safe. Thank you, body, for keeping me aware and preventing me from being complacent, because complacency is where I could have gotten hurt. But we are safe now. I am aware. Body, you have helped me to become aware of my environment. We are safe. You can relax. You can trust me. And you will find your body relax. Your shoulders just... You'll Joe, brownies among other things, really? She always has a good message. Oh, thank you. Somebody who talked about brownies, who brought that up? I'm going to blame you guys. I never brought up brownies. Somebody in the chat did. It's all on you. It's not my fault. I'm not guilty. My mouth is watering though. Frick. I have it bad for brownies. What are we talking about today? We are talking about the 5 principles of how to recover from your trauma. Yeah, it's Joe's fault. Joe's fault. So getting the 5th principle is just getting honest with yourself, asking yourself important questions, writing the answers down so you do not forget, because a lot of times out of sight, out of mind. And sometimes we gaslight ourselves into conveniently forgetting. And then that pattern happens again. And because we forgot what we learned, we're like, God, why is this happening? I don't get it. And you're frustrated all over again. So we inadvertently re-traumatize ourselves. It's time to stop. See, healing isn't just about controlling or fixing yourself. It's about allowing your mind, your body, and your spirit to do what they were designed to do. The more you resist, the more you suppress or fight, the more you prolong this process, the more you keep these negative, unwanted feelings alive. So by embracing principles like acceptance and narrative shifts, meaning change the narrative, you do your shadow work, you exercise patience, you exercise truth, you can step out of your own way and let healing happen naturally. So just remember, You're healing already. It's already happening. You can't stop it. It's happening. Because what the Spirit wants, the Spirit gets. And your spirit needs healing so that you can tap into and become the child that you were always meant to be. The child of divinity. So give yourself the grace and the space to grow, because you're doing it already. You might as well just go along for the ride and make it fun. So turn it around. Try to see the silver lining in this. Like how I shared with you today. My car battery died. And look at the lesson. Just that lesson that we did today, that live we had today, this afternoon, came all about from a dialogue, a quick 10-minute dialogue that I had with God as I talked to him about my battery dying on my car. Pretty cool, hey? Pretty cool. Pretty cool. You gotta get your bread, Shannon. What? No, I need brownies. I need brownies. So may I just say, a woman's body isn't created for anyone but ourselves. And if we choose our ultimate survivor, the I don't know, omnipotent doesn't care. I'm not sure what that word is supposed to be. Omnipotent? I'm going to have to look that up. So, yeah, so I'm just, you know what? I'm going to make brownies. When the chocolate comes, when I can buy chocolate again, I'm going to eat brownies and I'm going to snurfle one like Cookie Monster on, I will too, I'll do it. I'll snurfle one down like Cookie Monster. Nom, 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 nom. Just to show you guys. You guys are torturing me with this chocolate brownie stuff. No fear. It's a new word for me too, resistor. So, but yeah. So, I mean, there's healing happens your own way. You know, seven people on and 7 likes. Hi, thank you everyone. That's so cool. 77. How many times are we supposed to forgive somebody? 70 times 7. Awesome. So, enough to try says God equals, it wasn't, okay, omnipotent, I believe. Eat, be happy, rejoice. That's a new word for me. I like that word. I like that word. Omnipotent. How do I spell it? Omnipotent. See, these little dry erasers, they're awesome because I have a glass tabletop and I just wrote on it. That's what I do when I don't have paper. I write on my glass tabletop. I write on, you know, my little computer, I got my laptop here and, you know, the little keyboard that has the little pad on it, the finger pad. Well, there's space on the finger pad so I can write on it. Just a temporary message. These are freaking awesome, man. I'm always writing on everything. And then, like, yeah, so just don't do that around babies because they'll see you write on something and then they'll take your felt and write on the wall, and this doesn't come off in paint. So, like, just paint that doesn't have any gloss on it. It works on gloss paint, but just flat paint, no, these erasable markers don't work. So, yeah, so just don't. I love, yeah, okay. I'm in such a good mood. I don't know what to do with myself right now. So please excuse me because I'm just, this day has just been such a blessed day. Every day is. But the knowledge that we're sharing on this channel, it's invaluable. It's priceless. It can't be beat. So I just want to say thank you guys again. You guys are helping me, and we're helping each other, and you guys are family. That's it. It's done. And I'm so thankful for each and every one of you. So with that said, it's 1:31. Cool. We're getting good numbers. Weird. I don't know what these numbers mean, but I like numbers too. So I'm going to say good night. And I got to go distract myself because I gotta go read, see if I got chocolate chips or something hanging around the house. I don't think I do, but I'm gonna go look. No, I'm okay. I'll be fine. So we're here 1 o'clock in the afternoon and 10 o'clock in the evening Eastern time. So for those of you who are new, we would like to invite you to join us. And please be sure to click the link in the pinned comment in this chat, as I have shared with you our private chat link to Telegram. And this link will only be available here on this channel for a little while. So we've got to vet our peeps, as there's no narcissists allowed on this private chat on Telegram. Shh. So please don't share this link. Okay, it's private. If you guys get an invite, you're welcome to email me and ask me for an invite, and you'll get an invite, but don't share this with anybody. Yeah, so it's a fun channel already, fun Telegram stuff, as we talk about things that YouTube won't allow us to talk about. And this is, I put up this channel kind of as our way of, sticking it to YouTube for not monetizing this channel. We're spreading the hate, apparently. Go figure. Yeah, whatever. I don't care. Raspberries to you, YouTube. Love ya, but don't want to be ya, Anyways, so I am so thankful for this fellowship. Thank you, Jesus. Joe, thank you. Yes, we are. Thank you, Jesus. So with that said, you guys have a good night. Check the important links in the description of this video to support this channel in the ways that you can. And you have my thank you, you have my gratitude, and you have my prayers. I love you all, and I hope to see you tomorrow. And I hope to see you in our chat on Telegram, okay? Yeah, let's do this. All right, you guys have a good night, good sleep, sweet dreams, God bless, God minister to you in your sleeps, and I'm going to go find some chocolate.